one in my family was musical. Actually, quite the opposite. And I played pop music in high school. I loved it. I don't know. I just had music in me. I don't know where that comes from. And then when I began college, the only reason I joined choir was to meet girls, and it worked. Yeah, that's right. And not just the Mozart Requiem, but that first sounds of Mozart Requiem. It was that one rehearsal, the first rehearsal, totally transformed me. Yeah, that's very interesting. So the choir came about because I signed a contract with Decca, with the record company.
Uh-huh.
And as part of that contract, they wanted me to record a number of albums of my own music. And so for the first time, I had the chance to choose whatever choir I wanted to sing my music on these recordings. And so I thought, all right, well, for the first time, I'll try making my own choir. And really what we're looking for from the singers is there's a purity of tone and of blend and extraordinary musicianship, because we only have a very limited amount of time to rehearse before each concert or recording.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be incredible sight readers and the highest level of musician. And then also, I really look for personalities. People who do well together at camp, basically. Yeah, in fact, just 2 days ago, we recorded 3 more tracks for a new album that's going to come out in the fall. And we'd like to do more touring. Looks like we'll be doing more European tours next year, and then hopefully a West Coast tour in the fall as well. Yeah, actually, so we're starting to do more and more of other composers' work. So on this concert in Philadelphia, like you say, I'm doing some Bach and some Monteverdi and some Corigliano. But already for next year, we're talking about doing the Bach St. John Passion and the Passio by Arvo Pärt, and some Poulenc, like things that aren't just mine, which is amazing for me too, because not only do I love conducting them, but it really helps me grow as a composer, learning these other pieces. The concert is called Inspirations, and really it's pieces that I've either written and what inspired those pieces, or other pieces that from other composers that inspired me personally. So, for instance, the Corigliano that we're singing,
mm-hmm.
He was my teacher and my mentor at the Juilliard School when I did my master's degree there. And the Monteverdi that we're singing directly inspired Leonardo Dreams of His Flying Machine.
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the piece that Charles Anthony Silvestri and I wrote together. And the Alleluia, which is my composition, was inspired by my time at Cambridge University
mm-hmm.
Over the past couple of years as composer in residence. So the entire theme of it is about inspiration. I should say, too, the deepest part of that inspiration is because I started in pop music. I've done an arrangement of Depeche Mode's Enjoy the Silence, and we'll perform that on there as well. It's not announced in the program. So it was one of my favorite songs growing up. Released in 1990 by Depeche Mode, and for years and years I've wanted to do a choral treatment of it, and so I did. I've arranged it for my choir. But what was interesting to me is that I started off thinking it would be kind of a simple piece, and then I started reading the text, the poetry
uh-huh.
of it, and the same thing happens to me when I read other just poetry. I started painting the words, and so the piece that's come out, the version of Enjoy the Silence, is a little grander, a little more epic than I think I initially imagined. Yeah, exactly. So it's the first for me by far. It's really an emotional impression of, and everything begins and ends with the word, with the poetry itself. And I feel that when I'm most successful as a composer, what I'm doing is just getting out of the way of the words and doing exactly what they're telling me to do. That the best poetry by E. Cummings or by Charles Anthony Silvestri, for instance, it has music buried in the words much easier when I just quiet myself and do what it's telling me to do. That's very interesting. Well, I generally prefer a pretty dry space, so that we can really hear what's going on. You know, sometimes you get to rehearse in a big church or cathedral, and you sound amazing, but you don't really sound amazing, you know, because of the space. And I like generally to rehearse very quietly, even if it's loud fortissimo music. I like to take everything very quietly, very intimate and intricate, so that we not only form a nice blend together as a group, but a real esprit de corps as a group of people. Yes, I've gotten some pretty bad reviews. Most of the time it's pretty easy to dismiss, but sometimes they can say something that's really intensely personal, and yeah, it stings. It's the hardest part about it is there's no dialogue. You know, it'd be one thing if you could write back, or if the two of you could be on stage somewhere together and you could at least defend yourself.
That's a great point.
Yeah, so it just feels like an unsolicited attack. But it's part of the game, so you take your lumps and just keep trying to write. Yeah, although it's funny, all of my advice would be so totally conservative, which is that first, the singer should really, really know the poetry. Everything that they're singing, talk about it, study it. If it's in a different language, they should know every word of what it is that they're singing, even in the other language. The notes and the rhythms, ideally, are just beginning. My wife is a black belt in Taekwondo, and at this dojo that she used to study at, I don't know if it's a dojo in Taekwondo, whatever it was, the studio that she studied at, they had on the wall this giant poster that said, our practice begins with black belt. I always loved that the idea that you have to get all the way to black belt, and then you can actually start to learn. And so I feel the same way with singers, that the black belt part is the notes, the rhythms, just basic musicality. That stuff should be the beginning of the rehearsal, and then after that you need to find the music and the magic. Yeah, it's amazing how it's evolved. That when it started, it was just me trying to see if something would work. You know, I saw that first video, and then I had this idea that if I stitched a couple people singing together, it must make a choir. And so it was really born of just kind of like a childlike innocence and naivete. Just what happens if the thing. And now, what's extraordinary to me is this community that is building around it. That genuine connections made with people all over the world. And so, for me personally, like I can't watch the videos without breaking into tears. I'm so moved by the poetry of it, the humanity of it, that frankly transcends the music making of it. I feel humbled just to be a part of it, frankly. Oh my God, let's see. In film, there's the filmmaker Paul Thomas Anderson, whose movie The Master came out I just can't get enough. And There Will Be Blood, Magnolia, Boogie Nights, some of my favorite movies ever. And it would be a dream to work with him someday. By the way, and then Johnny Greenwood, who is a guitarist for Radiohead, but is also a very gifted classical composer, wrote the scores for both The Master and There Will Be Blood. And they're some of the most fresh and interesting and haunting scores I've heard in years. So I guess I'm really into that right now. I think you probably saw that I posted on Facebook about the video game Journey, which was, the score was written by a friend of mine named Austin Wintory, and I thought that the game and the score were perfectly married. Kind of made this a new gaming platform, I felt. City of Brotherly Love. I can't wait to come. I wish I could spend a week there. What I'm hoping we can do is that we'll have a nice concert and a nice audience there, and then I'll be able to come back and spend a lot more time next time.